I'm Dr. Duke with The New American, and we are joined by Tina Griffin. We're going to talk about her experiences. She is the counterculture mom. She is very concerned about everybody's kids and all of these pressures from Hollywood, from vaccines. Today we're going to talk about Hollywood because this is something very close to you. You left a farm in Wisconsin as a young girl,
Yes.
I mean 18, 20 years old,
Yes.
and you just went to Hollywood. And which is remarkable about you is you showed up with no letter of recommendation, and you became a working actress. You were in films that people know, and you did work behind the camera, so you really know the culture there. And let's share with moms some of the things going on with your experiences when you were in Hollywood.
Absolutely. I knew I wanted to go out there and get positive entertainment out there because I grew up watching 90210, and then I read this story in this Teen Bop magazine about Jason Priestley and how he wrapped his car around a tree because he was drunk going 80 miles an hour. And I remember sitting in my room on the farm in Pulaski, Wisconsin here thinking, if I could talk to Jason, I don't even know where these thoughts came from, but if I could have talked to him, let him know drinking and driving is not the answer. Because that message, the article almost like glamorized it. Oh, he's back up and running again. Thanks for praying again. I'm like, no, talk about the fact that he wrapped his car around a tree because he was drinking. And what do these shows promote? When I was a teen, you saw the drinking and driving. No one died. You know, you saw two teens in bed. No one's getting pregnant or getting a sexually transmitted infection. So I'm like, this is wrong to promote that message. And we've got kids in prison for mass shootings. We got kids that are having kids at 12, 13 years old, having abortions. And then when they finally get married and want kids, they can't have them. So it's such a messed up system. And I loved exposing the lies. It became like, I'm like an undercover FBI agent. So moved out to Hollywood, worked on a ton of film and TV shows. The first show I worked on, ironically, was 90210 and Melrose Place, and started talking to all these celebrities like Ray Liotta. I was a personal driver for him for the Oscars. We're driving around the Hollywood Hills. In fact, I went up to his gate, and got into his house, and he's like, my wife's not done getting ready yet. Come on in. I'm like, oh my gosh, he was in Hannibal movie, which I didn't see because I wouldn't have been able to sleep at night. He did a lot of the voiceovers for Grand Theft Auto video game series, a lot of graphic footage. So at that point, I was already exposing this junk to parents and telling teens, here are thousands of positive video games you can play, all available on my Counterculture Mom app. It's a must download. So you didn't have to do the research. We have a team of 15 people already telling you what is great for your kids for entertainment and what to run from. So power is back in the parents' hands. They're not hearing about it 3 weeks after their kid's been exposed to something and now is having nightmares or tried cutting themselves or whatever. So back to Ray Liotta in his house. We're heading over to the Oscars. He's like, I don't believe in half his stuff. I just go to these Hollywood parties because I have to show face it helps me get my next job. But a lot of these celebrities like Madonna, I've exposed that on counterculturemom.com website. Search Madonna, you come up with all the articles we wrote on her the last 20 years. She says that she watched everything coming into her home, from things on her kids' tech gadgets to making sure that the TV shows and the movies and the video games were positive, non-violent, non-harmful content.
So, yeah.
And she's stripping naked on stage.
It's amazing. I mean, I remember when she left America because after all of her Like a Virgin stuff, I mean, I remember in 1979-80 when she came on the scene and how immediately what a corrupting influence she was on the morals and the morality of America, how she was being praised by progressives for tearing down sexual taboos. And she, for all of that destruction she wrought culturally, she ran away because she said it was too bad. It was too much here.
Yeah, and she caused it.
And Ray Liotta, who's a reputation as a mobster guy in movies,
yes.
right? But he said he would not let his kids watch those things either.
And when we were talking on the way to the Oscars too, he was asking what tithing was and my Christian walk with God. So I'm still praying for him 20 years later because I really believe that Christ died for everybody. Christ died for every single celebrity. Lady Gaga, she is tormented at night. Beyonce says she's demon possessed. Jay-Z, we got issues there. There's a lot of celebs that are right there out in the open.
You had an amazing
Kanye West. Let's pray for him.
Yes, you got an amazing conversation with Brittany Murphy, who's dead now, a young actress, and you talked to her, and she was very, very concerned as an underage actress that if she didn't do these scenes,
she would never work in the industry
that made
again.
her sexually uncomfortable.
Yep.
She would not work in the industry. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, she said she felt so guilty. I said, hey, you just wrapped this movie with 8 Mile, playing stupid. She didn't know I was Tina Marie Live back then. I wasn't married with 4 kids in 4 years at that point. But I said, yeah, I talk about pop culture. She goes, what's your name? I said, well, Tina Holowinski. It was, Tina Marie Live is a ministry. You talk about Marshall Mathers. You expose what he's doing. I heard about you in LA. I'm like, seriously? She goes, keep at it. And I said, yes, but you just worked on 8 Mile. And I tried to play stupid. I said, and she goes, yeah, I worked on 8 Mile. And she kind of, wanted to trail off. I said, well, you did some sex scenes. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm asking her this. I can't believe it. I said, you did some sex scenes, some drug scenes. What was that like? Was it hard for you to do that? She goes, I'm a Christian, Tina. I hated doing those scenes. I felt guilty going home after wrapping up on the set every day. But she goes, I feel like I had to do that in order to get ahead in the industry. Those were her exact words that I've been sharing ever since 20 or about 18 years.
And that,
I've been sharing her words.
And that, of course, accounts for why Weinstein was Weinstein.
That's about it.
These young girls that if they want to get ahead, Rose McGowan was right. And it's amazing how, you've probably seen some of this yourself. Rose McGowan is now exposing them as you're exposing them. And now she's persona non grata, right? You see how that works.
Yes. Yes. And back to Madonna for 2 more seconds. The thing that I like about what I've been exposing for so long, once again, Counterculture Mom app, it's a must. You have to download it. I send out alerts ahead of time. Good and negative entertainment for your kids. Ways to talk to your kids, because if they're currently playing a video game and you're trying to get them off of it, it's not going to be easy right away. Not every kid's going to say, okay, Mom, whatever you say. We have conversation starters in all these alerts. So it's a 5-minute read where you're going to see positive results. Problem, solution. I'm always about solution. But Madonna, when I exposed her and been traveling around the country for almost 2 decades, sharing all this, and music festivals, churches, school assemblies, cruises, Africa. I mean, I've been all over the globe. There is a clip that I've been playing for at least a decade where Madonna and her son Rocco are on the Ellen Show. I can't believe I grabbed the dirt, because you know how it works, Duke. The second you don't grab the dirt, they erase it online. I'm like, not anymore. I'm taking screen share, and I'm So I have folders and folders of evidence for my stuff. So kids like dirt. Don't just tell me you met Madonna and she does the lyrics and watches what comes into her home. We want to see some dirt. Well, here it is. She's on Ellen, and I got the clip. When I saw it, my jaw dropped, because she admits to Ellen, when Ellen asks Rocco, so what's it like going on tour with your mom? And she has this crazy, wild, X-rated outfit. She's dancing and parading on stage.
What about when she flashes herself and stuff? How do you feel about that?
I actually don't see that.
He's underneath the stage, busy doing things.
That's best.
She's like, yes, I shelter my kid from what I'm doing on stage. Lyric-wise with the words and what she's wearing, and millions of young kids, impressionable minds watching that, most not under the watch of parents, not having a clue what parents are having a clue on what their kids are watching. And I show that video clip, and the kids' jaws drop, because they realize they have 2 choices. Continue living the lifestyle of being deceived by these celebrities, or saying, no way, you're not going to tell me how to live my life if you're not living that kind of lifestyle and you want the best for your kids. I said, it's because these celebrities don't want you to be competition for their kids. Private schools, best education possible, shelter from any negative, harmful content, being leaders of their communities, starting their own companies, and you guys are drug infested, in prison, dead with a disease, or taking care of a kid yourself. I say you can rise above this crap.
So as the counterculture mom, you have a fantastic app on your site that gives moms and dads all sorts of advice and information and support for sort of unplugging the kids. Talk about the app, talk what's on it, and how the families can get it.
So I'm working on a project right now that's a pop culture purge, which we've talked about doing previous upcoming segments. I'd love to talk more about doing a purge. On my app, on my website, there are ways to do a purge in your home, and I go in detail about that. Checking out the video games, what are they rated? Checking out the magazines, what kind of content is in there? What are some positive magazines for your kids? Checking out Netflix series. I have a ton of information on my Counterculture Mom app of knowing what Netflix series are safe and what aren't. It's to the point now where I suggest don't even have Netflix, and there's PureFlix, CrossFlix, Yippie's a new one for younger kids. All of that is all in my app. We're constantly pumping out great positive content. In fact, if parents text the word guide to the number 55444, it is loaded with thousands of positive entertainment options during lockdown, during summer months. With the remaining time we got on this planet, let's make sure our kids are not being brainwashed by hypocritical Hollywood elites and celebrities, which they know what they're doing is wrong, and admit to it. And I have the video footage on my YouTube channel, Counterculture Mom. There's so much content on my website with all my social media platforms. Kids need to see that so they realize that means if those are lies, what is truth, what's positive? And how am I going to feel after watching positive content? Not depressed and suicidal, full of joy, peace, positive identity, eating better.
So parents can text guide 55444.
Yes.
Or they can get the app how?
Counterculture Mom is the name of the app, and they can go to the Google Play, go to iTunes Store, download it. I also have a killer brand new show that's on Salem Radio Network under Dennis Prager. It just launched 3 weeks ago called The Counterculture Mom Show. It's on like 10 platforms. Download that, because each week we have a different guest that dissects pop culture. They are the experts, and I know what questions to ask them because I'm raising 4 young kids myself. And it's blowing people wide open with seeing the truth of Hollywood and getting their hands on positive pop culture for their kids. Because if we don't watch what goes in their head, they're going to be seriously dead in prison, back talking, low morals, depressed, suicidal because of what they're being fed. There's positive options, and the major mainstream media will not promote those because it goes against their agenda.
Tina Griffin, counterculture mom. Check out all her stuff.